Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, June 20th I believe, and tonight we have to do some work I've been putting off on this Sebring. Had a busy weekend with hay and other stuff. Anyway, we have a steering issue. I already know what's wrong with it. I'm going to show you what's wrong with the steering first, then we're going to come back and I'll show you how to check the steering. Yeah, and Tankenstein is going to have to wait till after this, but anyway. Let's go for a test drive. I'll show you guys what to look for. The first thing I do when I get in a customer's car at work or at home, I always look at the mileage. Anyway, I give the steering wheel a little shake. I don't know if this is going to be able to pick it up, but you can hear something. Now, I already know that it needs, I think it's right outer and a left inner, but you can actually hear it in there. Anyway, let's go down the road and I'll see what else happens. Now right away backing up, I can tell that there's something wrong with the brakes. Okay, let's see if we can do this with one hand. Now I'm listening for, whoa, see that? I don't know if you guys catch that out. The steering isn't coming back the way it should be. And I can hear a scraping noise on the left front, which could be brakes. I'll show you what I mean here as soon as we get past this car. Okay, when I turn the steering wheel, it's supposed to correct itself right away. And she's not doing that. Like I gotta really turn it to get it to come back, and the camera's probably not picking it up. Hang on, we'll get turned around here and do this again. Okay, so I have a scraping noise when I turn the wheel. And the steering is very funky. It doesn't want to correct itself. You got a brake pulsation, but that's another story anyway. Yeah, so when I turn the wheel, that sucker should straighten back out, not stay where it is. See that right there? And there's big time play in the steering wheel. Okay, let's go back home and I'll show you what's wrong with it. Okay, now just looking down the side of the car, sometimes you can pick up if the wheel is laying in or out. That could be a problem. Let's go underneath now. Okay, let's go in the car here and have a look and see what's going on. I've already checked this out at his house. Okay. Now I'm telling you right now, the left lower ball joint is out of this car. And I know why, because my light's not working. So guys, you're gonna have to work with this light we got in here. A lot of use. Now I'm not trying to make fun of Chrysler, but this is an 02 Sebring. And you see this shield right here? That dust shield or grease shield is supposed to be there to keep the shit off the rotor, and you can see it's touching the rotor right there. So when you're going around the corner, you hear that little squeal. When I don't know if the camera picked it up when we're in the car or not, but I could hear it when I cornered. The rotors actually and rims actually flex a bit and then push it into there. Now I know it's gone because I've changed a lot of these at work, and a lot of times this ball joint will fall down far enough that it's scrubbing the rim, and that's not good. And that causes a funny steering situation too. And if you want to compare sides to side, you can see that ball joint's right on that shield. So we'll swing camera around and look at a good side, and you see how that is straight out and it's not hanging down at all. It's not touching the rotor. So we need a left lower ball joint, and it just so happens I have one here. Okay, so I pre-ordered a ball joint for it, and there's the part number. It's like 161 or something like that. Anyway, get a closer look at this. I'll get you guys in. You can see a closer look. Oh, what better light? What's going on here? You can see because the pocket for the ball joint hangs a lot because the wheel's pulling apart on that. You know, there's forces working here. I'll explain this just a minute. Get down here. Now, the strut in the car, we're putting weight on this piece here, and when you hit a bump, this piece is trying to pull with the weight of the car. It's pulling apart. Anyway, so that's the way you get it. It wears out, and it's real bitch to steer, and that thing hits the backing plate. So, okay, so this is an 18 mil here, and that one there I think is a 15. Don't quote me on that one. And you have to take this one off here, which is another 15, and that ball joint one there is an 18. And then of course you have your rotten sway bar link on the bottom, which I didn't bring tools home to take off, so this could be a really, this job could turn into a nightmare fast. It's not something I want to do at home, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it should be sprayed, all your bolts should be sprayed before you try anything on these older cars, because you know what's going to happen. But anyway, okay, first things first. Now 15 mil on a long breaker bar. I'm going to see if I can crack that free. I don't want to use the impact gun because the jar motion could pull the nut free on the top in here, and I don't really want to. Now, if I was on the hoist, I could probably find a hole to spray it, but I'm not, so we're just going to try to get it out without messing it up. Jesus. Excuse my French, guys. Put you down here where you can see a little bit. Oh man, that is in there good. Remind me again why I'm doing this. Oh yeah, I like punishment. That's it. Oh, this is better than going to the gym. Oh, anyway, continue with that and get that bolt out of there without messing it up. Okay, and give you a little reference. There, up here on top of this bolt right here, this one I'm trying to get out is a 15. There is an 18 nut, and chances have it I can't find my 18 millimeter wrench, so I'm trying to jam it with a 19 open end, but I don't think that's going to work. But anyway, 18 mil on the top. There's a little bracket that holds the, I don't know if I can get you guys up in there to see this without light. There's a little bracket up in there that, I don't know if you can see it, that holds the brake lines, and all you do is push that up off of the, bad footage guys, sorry about that, up off of the nut or the stud going through there. Anyway, let's give that a go. Okay, after some digging I found my 18. Let's give that another go. Okay, so that bolt was a chore, not to say the least. Now we're going to go after the pinch bolt here. 18 mil on one inside, on the other side is a 15. Now I'm gonna hand bomb this. I should have my air compressor right here, but these are really rusted and it won't take it off anyway, so let's get at her. Now I got lucky and this isn't seized. I remember the older Hondas used to seize, same kind of setup. Anyway, get that out, get back at her. Sometimes these bolts are tricky to come out, and mine already came out a little bit. So I'm going to pry and turn at the same time. If I had the impact gun, I would zing it out. I put pressure this way. Anyway, I gotta have two hands for this, so I'll put you down here. Now, what I've done is pulled this back. If you can see it at that angle, the sway bar link is right here. A lot of times you have to stick an Allen key in the top end of that to get it undone. This one's been changed for, so she's a 19 mil, and I got lucky. It's coming off my fingers. So yeah, a lot of times you have to use a Allen socket in the top half right here. And most times what ends up happening is we cut them off the torch, because sometimes it's just not worth fooling around with, and when you get done they're rattling. So anyway, get that off next. Okay, so mine decided to be stubborn like they mostly do, and I have a torque bit here. It kind of fits in there. It's the only thing I have, so I'm going to use it. It's a T40. I'm not sure what kind of Allen key. Anyway, so you want to hold it like that and hopefully turn it. Like I say, most times we end up torching them at work because this is a pain. Anyway, you get the idea. Take that nut off, and we possibly have to take it off the bottom nut too, down here, to get it out, because this has got pressure upwards, this sway bar link, and it's pushing this bolt upwards. So we have to get this bolt right out of there to be able to pull this A-arm out of there. If we have any chance of removing that A-arm, we need to get this, we'll have to pry this down and get this bolt out of here. We may have to take it off there too. Okay, with that sucker out of there, I can't find my pry bar, so let's use this good Princess Auto pry bar and get that sway bar link out of there. I may have to take the other side right out too as well. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not done doing the bolt there. Oh, sorry guys. Frig sakes. I need to get this. What I'm trying to do is swing this down so it's out of the way. It may not work. Watch your fingers! Okay, can't do it. Okay. Anyway, let's leave it unhooked for now and then get back to it. If I have to take it off here, I will. Or undo the other side so the whole sway bar swings down out of the way. I don't want to do that though. But continue on. Okay, the next one is an 18 mil. It's pointing in front of the transmission here. Now this one here, I haven't did one in a while. I can't use your flex socket 18 in there because it hits. You could probably raise the transmission. Now my battery is going low. Anyway, I'm going to try it with a wrench first and see how far I get. Just because that's all I have right now. I don't have a short socket. So I have to charge my camera and get that bolt out. I'm going to try to go through one of these holes and spray the backside so it'll come off easier with liquid wrench or whatever. Okay guys, so that's the next one. Take this one out. Okay, it's the next night. And with, sorry, mosquitoes are bugging me. A short 18, I managed to get in there with the breaker bar. I actually used the ratchet and a big pipe, and you see that there. Just had enough room to get in between the transmission, and was able to. I couldn't get it out, but it broke. Where am I here? And it's probably a good thing it broke because this is a new one. And we're not so lucky actually. We're gonna have some trouble with this. I'm probably gonna have to cut the old one out of there, or take that lip there and bend it this way, because you can see the piece I broke off doesn't go all the way through where it broke. So that's gonna give me a big headache. Plus I don't have a bolt for it. So anyway, let's get her out of there. 7/8 on the top side of this ball joint right here. Don't worry about getting the cotter pin out. Just get on it and then crack it, the cotter pin will fall away. You're not reusing that, so you don't have to worry about the threads in it. So take that off. We're going to pry down on this and give this watt with a hammer, get this out of there, and then we're going to see if I can bend this down or take my Sawzall and cut that off, and I'll weld it on later. This has got to come out tonight. Now once you get the cotter pin broke out of the way, you should be able to put your box end on there. Makes it a lot easier. Alrighty, so we got 2 hurdles to cross right now. I didn't bring my pickle fork, but that's not really a big issue. Next is trying to get that, ouch, mosquitoes. Get that piece of frame out of there. This might make some of you cringe, but this happens a lot on older cars. You have to figure a way out to overcome a certain problem. Now if I had a long bent bar, I might be able to go through there where that bolt went and pound it out on the inside, but I don't have anything here to get down in there. So next best thing on older cars. Now I'm stuck. This happens a lot in garages. It's not going to hurt or affect this car anyway once I get it done. So I'm going to re-weld the frame. So let's go in there. Okay, little coffee break, and a lot of time later I got a nice clean cut. Should go back together fairly easy. Now I'm going to get in here with the pry bar, and if you guys can still see, I'm going to try to open this sucker up. I'm all out of options. Now, some of you might say that's not the way to do it, but when you're working on the ground, you got no tools, no torches here. There's always a solution. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this. It'll be alright as soon as I weld that back together. What I'm going to do is hammer this back, tighten the bolt down so it relocates this where it's supposed to be, and make sure I got the right gap. Now I'm going to run a bead across there. She'll never break again. It'll never break. This car will be in the junkyard before that happens. Okay, so now I gotta pry outwards on that, and that might give me some trouble. I wish I was on the hoist, because right now I can't get the right angles on this. I'm using the wrong kind of pry bar too. Anyway, I might have to jack the car up some more. Anyway, you get the idea. Get in there and get her out. Okay, this ball joint being hooked up is giving me a little bit of grief. So let's get rid of that if I can. Anyway, you get the idea. All I did to release this was smack that really hard with a hammer a few times, like a dozen. Okay. She's clear. Now I gotta pull a tail end of that out. I try to make you guys sick out of here, and sometimes it's hard to get back in because that metal around it's squashed. You could try to open it up a bit, or sometimes I've seen guys grind just a little bit off of this on both sides. Anyway, pull that sucker out of there. Now I'm not very pleased about this car. And if you can see it down there, this piece is larger than the frame, or it's been knocked in, so I'm gonna have to custom modify that right there. Take a little lip off the grinder. Not too happy. Okay, you can see where I'm at here. Oh, there. Just match it up with the other one. Make sure you got a perfect match. Looks good. Now we're going to address this bolt down here. Okay, I need a better mounting system here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this bolt. It looks like the bracketry for it is welded right in there. It appears I'm going to have to get... man, I can't knock that out. The nut thingy is welded right to the frame. Freaking paper then anyway. That's not quite sure. It's obvious to me. I'm gonna have to weld a nut on this and heat this right red to get this out of there. See that? Or I cut this out of there, which I don't want to do. And I might have to cut a hole in the bottom here to heat this inside of this. Normally though, if this bolt comes out and you don't have any trouble with it, either it getting stuck in the sleeve or breaking off like this, it would just be a matter of reinstalling it reverse that I just did. I think we're going to do another separate video on how to get rid of that stud right there. I don't have any heat here right now, and I need to get the TSC and get my bottles filled. Okay guys, I think I'm going to end it right there. Okay guys, I'm beat, so I'm going to end this video right here. And I'm going to do a separate one on removing that bolt because I think it's important. It can work in other places. So one thing you got to remember when you're done is to bend this shield. Make sure it's not touching the rotor here, and make it bend up like that one right there. Okay. We'll be getting back on Tankenstein this in a little while there, probably this weekend. I gotta fix my lawnmower. I haven't cut my grass in 2 weeks, but anyway. You might see this video Friday night, so anyway. Have a good one. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Please! Anyway, see you guys later.